Good morning, America. For our viewers in the West, mass evacuations underway as Hurricane Milton barrels towards Florida. The race to escape the strongest storm in the Gulf in nearly 2 decades.
This is the storm of the century.
Dangerous storm surge expected to break records in Tampa Bay. Gas stations running near empty, airport shutting down. Ginger leads our team in the hurricane zone.
Vice President Harris blasts former President Trump for spreading disinformation about the federal disaster response to Hurricane Helene. This morning, how the disaster could impact voting and the state of the race with 28 days until the final votes.
Rescued at nearly 20,000 feet after 3 nights stranded in the freezing cold Himalayas. 2 climbers tell their survival story after losing most of their gear in a freak accident.
Family members tell their story 3 decades after the Menendez brothers murdered their parents, detailing a dark family secret as celebrities call for Lyle and Eric to be resentenced.
Halloween scare, why chocolate prices are up this year and how you can save on sweets this year.
Mega changes. The big overhaul coming to the Mega Millions lottery, the price of a ticket going up. But what about your chances of winning?
Mrs. Sissy Houston, everybody.
Celebrating Sissy Houston, the Grammy winner who sang with Elvis and Aretha.
Me and you against the world.
It helped turn her daughter Whitney into the voice of a generation.
In the middle of the night,
A perfect night for Kansas City sports fans.
This ball is on its way. This ball is gone.
A Royals victory in New York. And Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs now 5-0.
Worthy for the touchdown.
Worthy scores and celebrates his best friend, his mom. We are ready for Tuesday.
And we're having a good time. Let's go, baby!
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
And we do say good morning, America. It was a big night there in Kansas City for their fans, and we've got to really tell you about this. There's some sports teams that are really stepping up to help with hurricane relief. The Carolina Panthers, right there, you see them helping out in Charlotte.
Whole region bracing for that new big hurricane. Tampa right in the crosshairs. And take a look at Tropicana Field, home of the Tampa Bay Rays, housing all of those cots for first responders and the National Guard.
The mass evacuation is underway ahead of Hurricane Milton's arrival. And take a look at the line of cars. They're lined up to get out. That's Pasco County, just north of Tampa, and we have team coverage in the hurricane zone. Ginger leads us off in Tampa Bay. Good morning, Ginger.
Michael, in less than 48 hours, we'll have the second major hurricane making landfall along the Gulf Coast of Florida. I'm in downtown Tampa. This is the convention center. That water done with a seawall about 10 to 12 feet down. But in lesser storms, we have seen that water come up and flood all of this. 2 weeks ago, it flooded in Helene. And now we're preparing for the approach of one of the strongest hurricanes on record in the Atlantic Basin.
This morning, the race to get out before explosively powerful Hurricane Milton comes in. Milton, still more than 500 miles southwest of Tampa, now a Category 4 hurricane with winds of 155 miles per hour.
This is the storm of the century.
Mass evacuations ordered, prompting bumper-to-bumper traffic on highways out of town, as the strongest hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico in nearly 2 decades takes aim at the Sunshine State.
Thousands, hundreds of thousands of cars.
Rianne Ramirez and her family of 4 driving 8 hours to leave Florida, double the time it would normally take.
It is bumper to bumper to the point where we were standstill, not moving for an hour at a time.
Hurricane hunters flying into the storm to collect critical data. Milton is expected to be knocked down by some wind shear before making landfall late Wednesday into early Thursday, but the storm surge could still be unprecedented. Tampa Bay to Sarasota to Venice could see 10 to 15 feet of ocean water pushing onto land, prompting one of the largest evacuations in years.
I'm going to go door to door myself and make the plea over the next 24 hours to get as many people as possible to leave.
But those staying put are prepping for the worst. Frantically filling sandbags, boarding up homes, stocking up, many shelves already empty.
I have a 1-year-old as of tomorrow, and my wife's expecting our second child, so we just want to take necessary precautions.
5,000 National Guard troops activated. Tropicana Field, where the Tampa Bay Rays play, turned into a staging area for relief workers. Helene left behind so much destruction less than 2 weeks ago.
It's just a little scary to protect your house because it's not just your house, it's all the houses have debris piled up as high as you can see.
Helene brought the Tampa area and its beaches record storm surge as high as 7 feet. This was Tampa General Hospital during Helene. It was protected by an aqua fence. The water nearly to the top of the fence in that 5 to 7 feet of surge. But that's only half the storm surge that's expected from Milton.
Meteorologically, this storm was jaw-dropping to watch yesterday. Thankfully, it was over the open ocean, so it made it to Cat 5. It was max sustained winds 180 miles per hour. Look at that pinhole on the satellite. It intensified 95 miles per hour in 24 hours. Only 2 other storms in recorded history have done it or done it stronger. So yes, it's one of the strongest in the Gulf in decades. You see that path, it takes it, and you will see that category fluctuate today and even before landfall. But it doesn't matter. It's going to push so much water ahead of it, it doesn't matter necessarily what the category is. And it will looks like it makes landfall right now, right over the Sarasota Bay. But Tampa Bay down to Fort Myers, really concerned about the storm surge, which we'll get to. Hurricane warnings, though, Brandon, Lakeland, Orlando, Daytona Beach up to Jacksonville will have impacts of onshore flow. Look at the wind speeds, 110 miles per hour. That will take out power. That's a long part of I-4. Trees down, trees into homes. Watch for all of that. And then that surge. We're talking about 10 to 15 feet, which would be record-breaking. It would be like 3 of me stacked up, Robin, coming on shore.
You cannot overstate that, Ginger. Thank you. And we want to get more on the storm surge, as you were referring to. Whit Johnson is also in Tampa to show us what a 15-foot storm surge could mean for that city. Good morning, Whit.
Hey, Robin, good morning to you. As you can see, these streets are still lined with debris. This is left over from Hurricane Helene. So people in this community going through this all over again. That brought a record storm surge of up to 8 feet in some parts of Tampa. Neighbors say this area was completely flooded. Milton is expected to shatter that record. Let's go ahead and take a look from above and our drone camera. We have it about lined up with the roof line here, so you can imagine what a 10 to 15 foot storm surge could do. That's why we're seeing the windows boarded up. That's why we're seeing these mass evacuations and officials calling this the storm of the century, because the last time a major hurricane made landfall in the Tampa area was 1921. So regardless of where exactly Milton comes ashore, officials say you can expect unprecedented and catastrophic damage, because it's not just the flooding, the storm surge, but also those hurricane force winds, a potentially deadly combination. Robin?
And that's why people are taking precautions. Thank you, Whit, because the lines for gas are long as people fill up before the storm hits. Victor Oquendo is at a gas station in Sarasota. Good morning, Victor.
Good morning, Robin. It is hard to find, but this gas station in Sarasota, they still have some gas left. They have down to regular here. I've checked in and inside, they tell me they fully expect to run out today, and they don't know when the next shipment is coming. They also called Monday a record day. You'll definitely see those long lines at gas stations across Florida. But right now, officials say there is no fuel shortage and more is on the way. With so many people evacuating, we saw that heavy traffic ourselves. And in order to ease congestion, tolls have been temporarily suspended, and the shoulders and parts of I-75, they have been opened up. If you're trying to fly out, that will not be an option for much longer. Tampa's airport and Bradenton, Sarasota, they will be closing later this morning. Orlando's airport closing tomorrow. George?
Okay, Victor, thanks. Kamala Harris is blasting Donald Trump for spreading disinformation about the hurricane relief effort. But last night, the former president repeated false claims about the FEMA response. With 4 weeks to go until Election Day, Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce is tracking the campaigns. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, George. Well, federal officials say that these baseless claims are causing problems, hurting communities in need and hampering the recovery effort. But overnight, Donald Trump was spreading them again. This morning, Vice President Kamala Harris slamming Donald Trump, calling him irresponsible for spreading false claims and conspiracy theories about the federal disaster response.
There's a lot of mis and disinformation being pushed out there by the former president about what is available.
Harris calling out Trump for repeatedly and falsely claiming that the federal government is spending FEMA relief money on migrants instead of storm survivors. But FEMA's disaster relief funds are separate from other Homeland Security Department programs, including those that support migrant response.
It's extraordinarily irresponsible. It's about him. It's not about you. And the reality is that FEMA has so many resources that are available to folks who desperately need them now, and resources that are about helping people get back on their feet and rebuild and have places to go. You are entitled to these resources. People are entitled to these resources, and it is critically important that people apply for the help that is there to support.
Trump has repeatedly brought politics into disaster relief. Overnight on Fox News, the former president again attacking the Biden-Harris administration and wrongly claiming hurricane victims can only access $750 each. FEMA says that's false and that these conspiracy theories could keep aid from getting to the people who need it most.
Biggest effect, I would say, is people that have been impacted are afraid to apply for our assistance. Assistance that then they can get a hotel room. They can get reimbursement for some of the costs or damages to their home.
Harris overnight on 60 Minutes continuing her media blitz, criticizing Trump for backing out of the show's traditional pre-election interview.
If he is not going to give your viewers the ability to have a meaningful, thoughtful conversation, question and answer with you, then watch his rallies. You're going to hear conversations that are about himself and all of his personal grievances. And what you will not hear is anything about you, the listener. You will not hear about how he's going to try to bring the country together, find common ground. And Bill, that is why I believe in my soul and heart the American people are ready to turn the page.
Now, President Biden is being continually updated on the storm and response effort. Later this morning, he will deliver remarks here at the White House on the recovery effort to Hurricane Helene and preparations for Hurricane Milton. George.
Okay, Mary, thanks. Let's bring in our political director, Washington Bureau Chief Rick Klein, with a look at where things stand in the race right now. Good morning, Rick.
Yeah, good morning, George. This race just does not seem to budge, no matter what happens. It's been a week since the vice presidential debate, almost certainly the last debate of the election cycle, and we still see a narrow lead for Kamala Harris against Donald Trump in the 538 polling average. There were two new polls out this morning, one from the New York Times, one from Reuters, identical, 49-46 national leads. And in the battleground states, it's a similar portrait. Harris with a narrow edge right now in the big upper Midwestern states, and Donald Trump leading in several southern and one big western state. That includes a lead right now in North Carolina, where last week's storm damage was so severe. And while Election Day is technically 4 weeks away from today, voters in more than half of the states have already cast their ballots. Almost 2 million early votes recorded already so far. That's actually down pretty sharply from 4 years ago, about 500,000 less votes than we saw at the same point in the election cycle 4 years ago. But of course, that was during COVID, when record numbers of people were voting remotely. This strikes me, though, there's a larger share of Republicans that are likely to be voting this time around. We don't know who they're voting for, but that's a jump in about 10 points in likely Republican votes across the 6 states that we have a significant amount of data. It might be a sign of enthusiasm. It could also be that Republicans are coming around a little bit on the idea of early voting, George.
You mentioned North Carolina. The storm could have a big impact on the ability to vote there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And if you look at the part of the state that was most impacted, it's western North Carolina. These are the election results from 4 years ago. This is the region we're talking about right here. It's mostly deep red territory, other than Asheville, a little blue dot there. Of all the states that Donald Trump won in 2020, his margin in North Carolina was the tightest, less than 1.5 percentage points. He needed that mountain region to win. Now, officials in 13 counties impacted by the storm are being allowed to make changes to accommodate displaced voters. People can start voting early in person just a week from tomorrow in North Carolina. Officials now say they'll be able to start on time in all of the state's 100 counties. George.
Rick Klein, thanks very much. And this morning, Vice President Kamala Harris will be on The View in her first live interview since becoming the Democratic presidential nominee. That's at 11 Eastern right here on ABC. Robin?
All right, George. Overseas now to the tensions escalating in the Middle East. Let's go to Matt Gutman on the scene in Tel Aviv, where new details on Israel troops possibly preparing for expanded operations in southern Lebanon. Good morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning, Robin. The Israeli military is expanding that incursion in southern Lebanon, trying to control the 60-mile-wide border it shares with Lebanon and push Hezbollah northward. Now, Hezbollah opened fire on Israel exactly a year ago today, joining Hamas, and that rocket fire displaced about 60,000 Israelis. The Israeli government says that this incursion is meant to get those people back to their homes, but Hezbollah is still able to fire those rockets. We saw this massive salvo over the port city of Haifa today, and Israel's assault on Lebanon, especially City, the southern Beirut stronghold that Hezbollah has been withering. At this point, the Lebanese government says 1.2 million people have been displaced in Lebanon. And today, Hezbollah's new leader going on TV taunting Israel, saying that they're going to get bogged down in Lebanon. But he did leave the door open for a ceasefire. That is, Israel continues to calibrate its response to that historic Iranian missile attack from last week. Last week, they said it would be fast and severe. It's a week later. Israeli officials say that they are still calibrating their response. They are consulting with the U.S., but the response is coming, Michael.
All right, Matt, thank you so much for that. We're going to turn now to the Mega Millions. The price to play is going up, and the pay is too, of course. But so are your odds of winning. Trevor Ault is here to break down what's different. Good morning, Trevor.
Good morning, Michael. So this is going to be happening in April. They are more than doubling the price of a Mega Millions ticket from $2 up to $5, but they're calling this new and improved for a few reasons. Naturally, if people put in more money, that means more money for the jackpots. Mega Millions says this is going to lead to more billion-dollar winners than ever before, especially because they say they are improving the odds to win a jackpot as those jackpots are growing faster. Now, Mega Millions has been around for 22 years. This is just the second price increase they've had. There's been 6 people who have won billion-dollar prizes so far, and if you still find $5 is out of your price range, Powerball does not plan to increase its $2 price. Guys?
Okay, Trevor, thanks. Will Reeve here in the studio, but when it comes to sports, which he is covering, Kansas City the place to be.
It really is, George. They call Kansas City the heart of America. That's the official slogan, but right now it might need a rebrand to Heart of the Sports World. Because what a time it is to be a Kansas City fan, last night especially. Back in KC, the Chiefs hosting Monday Night Football. Patrick Mahomes had himself a great game. Travis Kelce also had a great game. You always want to impress your girlfriend when she visits your job. There's Taylor. Jason Kelce also in town for his new job as an analyst and tailgate connoisseur. There he is ripping through the tailgate. They line up early for that parking lot. And here's a sweet moment in the game. Xavier Worthy scores a touchdown on this play to put the lead out of hand. Sorry, Robin, the Saints going down. And then he runs over and gives his mom the game ball. It was her birthday. Happy birthday to Mama there. The Chiefs stay undefeated at 5-0. And meanwhile, here in New York, the Kansas City Royals, who count Patrick Mahomes as a minority owner and super fan, tying up their American League Division Series with the Yankees, pulling out a 4-2 win. The series shifts back to Kansas City tomorrow night. Can they pull off the major upset? Also, guys, Kansas City known as the City of Fountains, second most in the world, behind Rome.
Didn't know that.
Was that for George? That was for George, wasn't it?
Yeah. Just want to make sure you're still listening.
Thank you, as always.
What are you laughing about?
Kansas City, Rome. I'm trying to figure out which one I'm going to go to.
Well, right now, if you want to see good sports, you go to Kansas City.
That is true.
Quicker flight.
I don't know anything about Rome sports. All right. Thank you so much, Will. Coming up, we had a rescue of 2 women stranded 19,000 feet up in the Himalayas. Going to tell us how they survived 3 nights in the freezing cold.
Also ahead, remembering 2-time Grammy winner and mother of Whitney Houston, Cissy Houston.
And we hear from the family of the Menendez brothers what they believe happened inside their Beverly Hills home.
We'll be right back, and we love Kansas City.
Back here on GMA, that is country star Luke Combs performing one of his biggest hits, Lovin' on You. Combs is joining with fellow North Carolina native Eric Church and other star performers for Concert for Carolinas to raise funds for Hurricane Helene relief. Luke and Eric are going to join us live to tell us all about it. That's coming up in our next hour.
So many people coming together on that last storm. We're also following the new storm that is hitting the southeast right now. Big race to escape the storm zone ahead of Hurricane Milton, expected to bring dangerous storm surge up to 15 feet. That would be a record for Tampa. Also right now, U.S. Supreme Court set to hear a case over the regulation of ghost guns, those untraceable weapons usually sold online.
Plus, American Water, the largest water utility company in the country, said it was a victim of a cyber attack last week. The company provides services to more than 14 million customers in more than a dozen states. Law enforcement is still working to figure out the scope of the attack. And tonight, Connecticut and Minnesota are gearing up for a decisive Game 5. That's right, Robin. Excited about this one. The winner heads to the WNBA Finals to face off against the powerhouse New York Liberty.
I don't know because, Minnesota, best team since the Olympic break, but Connecticut, if they should win, and New York, that both would be the first ones to win in franchise history. So
if it's Connecticut and New York, they wouldn't have to go that far between games.
That's true.
But good luck to to both of those teams tonight. And we've got a lot more ahead, including why some candy prices are scary high right before Halloween and where you can still find some sweet deals. That is all coming up. But now we're going to turn to the Menendez family members who are speaking out about the case in a new documentary. It's bringing new attention to the case as prosecutors consider resentencing the brothers. Kana Whitworth is in Los Angeles with more for us. Good morning, Kana.
Yeah, Michael, good morning. The story is also taking on a whole new life on social media, with a new generation wanting a new outcome. And producers of the documentary say at this point, family members are speaking out because they have nothing to lose. This morning, family members of Eric and Lyle Menendez speaking out 3 decades after the brothers murdered their parents. They said it was self-defense and detailed a dark family secret of alleged sexual abuse at the hands of their father.
He was afraid that his dad was going to do so that night.
Their cousin Diane Vandermolen saying Lyle confided in her.
I just felt like, well, nobody else is doing anything. I must have been wrong. Then Lyle and Eric killing their parents made me wonder again, maybe I wasn't wrong then.
She says she tried to tell the boy's mother, Kitty, who didn't believe her. Kitty's own sister, shocked by the allegations.
The fact that they didn't just have a dad that was doing this, but a mother that knew about it and didn't help them, I don't understand how she didn't protect them.
Eric and Lyle shot and killed their parents in 1989, murdered in their own Beverly Hills home. The new documentary features some 20 hours of jailhouse interviews with Eric and Lyle, now in their 50s, reflecting on the trial that captivated the nation and sent them to prison for life with no possibility of parole.
I do worry that the seriousness of my crime not be minimized or diminished.
I never really could escape that night.
Documentary producers telling GMA the perception of alleged abuse has changed in recent decades.
We, in the documentary, just strive to present their story and, let audiences figure out why this could have happened.
The conversations recorded from jail in San Diego. The trial making headlines again as the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office reevaluates evidence that surfaced over a year ago. But prosecutor Pamela Bozanich firmly believes the brothers are where they belong.
I'm telling you now, that whole defense was fabricated. And it was done artfully, but it was fabricated.
Recently, the Menendez movement gaining momentum on social media.
Young people have taken the time to figure out what happened, and they understand it in ways that older people don't.
Bozanich pushing back.
The only reason we're doing this special is because of the TikTok movement to free the Menendez. If that's how we're going to try cases now, why don't we just have a poll?
Celebrities like Rosie O'Donnell also speaking out. She says she's optimistic about the possibility of the brothers' release, saying she thinks it will happen sooner than later. The next hearing for the case is just before Thanksgiving. Guys.
Okay, Kana, thanks. We're going to turn now to a harrowing story of survival. An American woman and her British climbing partner were rescued from the Himalayas after spending 3 freezing nights stuck on the mountain. Janae Norman here with their story. Good morning, Janae.
Good morning. A wild story that leaves you wondering how they ended up in this situation. But these women have more than 2 decades of climbing experience. They've done more than 15 climbs together. Well, now they can say that they've survived 3 days without food or water in freezing temperatures together.
Saviors. This morning, a bone-chilling rescue more than 20,000 feet up in the Himalayas.
The weather definitely got worse and worse each day.
American Michelle Vorak and her British climbing partner Faye Manners were trying to climb the Chaukhamba mountain in northern India.
How's it going?
But on Wednesday of last week, a rock fall causing the mountaineers to lose one of their most important bags, which contained most of their climbing equipment, communication devices, clothing, tent, and even their stove.
We heavily rely on the equipment that we have. It's essentially like our route to survival. I sent a quick message off to our tour operator, and then I also used this SOS function. And within 5 minutes, my phone died.
They hunkered down for a day, then slowly tried to descend the mountain.
We weren't drinking enough. We weren't eating. Our bodies were becoming weaker. We'd spend the evenings being really cold.
Indian Air Force helicopters unable to spot them, but on Saturday, a French mountaineering team also attempting the climb found the stranded duo, helping them down the mountain.
You see other climbers in trouble and you want to help them. We just feel really happy that they were there.
The rescue operation taking 80 hours. The Indian Air Force eventually picking them up Sunday from a safer altitude and bringing them back to solid ground.
Every time we plan something like this, it feels like it's all about the mountain and the objective and the climb. And then in the end, it's almost always about the people that you're with.
Unbelievable that they survived, but they say that they have been working to inspire more women to take up climbing. So they don't want viewers to walk away from this story and think, oh, it's even more dangerous, I need to stay away from it. They're saying this was a freak accident, a small bump on a beautiful journey, they say, around the world, making memories and seeing spectacular sights. So
glad they're okay.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Glad they're okay.
And good luck to anyone who's still interested.
When are you going hiking? Yeah. I'm about to say, good for them. Good for them.
We're going climbing together, Robin.
All right. Thank you, Janae, as always. Now on GMA, celebrating legendary gospel singer Cissy Houston, the two-time Grammy winner, mother of Whitney Houston, died Monday at the age of 91. Lara is back. You're going to take a look at her life and legacy. Good morning.
Sure am. Good morning to you, Robin. Yeah, long before Whitney became a music superstar, her mother, Cissy Houston, had an amazing career of her own. Performing with a group called the Sweet Inspirations, she recorded over 600 songs in multiple genres.
Mrs. Cissy Houston, everybody.
While she may have given birth to the woman known as The Voice, Cissy Houston's own talent, the cornerstone of what would become a family dynasty.
Nobody could touch Whitney as far as singing. He said, my mom's voice, and she taught Whitney everything she knew about how to use that voice.
Houston, who started singing gospel as a kid, became part of the Sweet Inspirations in the 1960s, replacing her niece, Dionne Warwick, who had left to further her solo career. The group singing backup for Otis Redding, Van Morrison, Elvis Presley, and even Aretha Franklin. But it was her strong faith which was the centerpiece of her life. Making Whitney's foundation the church. The mother-daughter duo sharing a scene together in the movie The Preacher's Wife.
What do you think, Mrs. Abigail?
Acceptable. Offstage serving as bodyguard, a fierce protector for her children.
I'm a fighter, okay? All right, so you bothered my kids, you done bothered me.
But heartbreak would be a hallmark of Houston's later years, burying her superstar daughter in 2012, only to be compounded by the loss of Whitney's only child, Bobby Christina, 3 years later. Cissy Houston was 91.
Me and you against the
They sounded so beautiful together. Cissy Houston died in New Jersey while in hospice care. She had been battling Alzheimer's disease. Overnight, her niece, Dionne Warwick, released a statement saying, "I'm so deeply saddened. However, knowing that my Aunt Cissy died peacefully and that she is in a much better place is a consolation and comfort to me."
Very talented family.
Indeed,
Yeah.
Indeed.
Thank you for bringing that to it, Lara. Appreciate that.
Hi, it's Seth Curry, and I'm sending my love and support to everyone affected by Hurricane Helene's devastation. We're thinking about you. Stay strong, stay safe.
That is my guy Seth Curry of the Charlotte Hornets showing his love for the state, and the Carolina Panthers coming up big, delivering for their hard-hit community after Hurricane Helene. Eva Pilgrim has the story. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, Michael. The Carolina Panthers teaming up with Second Harvest Food Bank. The goal was to pack 1,500 emergency food kits and get that food to those people who are in need.
Community supports us, so especially when there's a time of need, it's like this is a chance for the community to rally together, for us to come together and support in any way we can.
And this one is just, it's big. It's big, it's a problem. People weren't expecting it. You know, you don't expect to have that kind of flooding out there and the problems we have out there. So, you know, you got it. Everybody has to pitch in and do their part right now.
And, you know, the Carolina Panthers have pledged to donate $3 million to these relief efforts. They've already surpassed that goal, donating more than $3.8 million. And we're here at a distribution center in Augusta, Georgia. This area also hit hard by Hurricane Helene. You can see the cars coming through, the supplies being put into these cars for the people. They are still recovering here. We're going to have much more on the effort here coming up, Michael.
All right, thank you so much for that, Eva.
Coming up, as you heard, we're going to have more from Eva there in Georgia with those heroes that are helping people after Helene, because we are Southeast strong all morning long.
Good morning, America. It's 8 a.m. The race to escape Hurricane Milton, the strongest storm in the Gulf in nearly 2 decades.
This is the storm of the century.
Dangerous storm surge expected to break records in Tampa Bay. Gas stations running near empty. Airports shutting down. Ginger leads our team in the hurricane zone.
This is kind of a big deal as Amazon Prime Big Deal Days kick off. We've got some more of the biggest bargains out there from the top retailers.
Time to head back to school with Abbott Elementary.
I have been waiting for this moment.
Quinta Brunson and Tyler James Williams are live in Times Square talking season 4 and an Always Sunny crossover.
This is my hometown.
Southeast strong. This morning we are live in Georgia.
When you see people's reaction, it's a humbling thing.
With a Good Samaritan stepping up to help.
I just saw so many people without lights, without water, without food, and I was like, at least I can feed.
Plus, country music superstars Eric Church and Luke Combs join us live to talk about their hurricane relief concert for Carolina. As they say,
good morning, America.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA.
And good morning, America. We are Southeast strong in Georgia today. Eva Pilgrim, Mike and Josh here there with some of the local heroes helping their neighbors.
There's also a convoy of trucks loaded with much needed supplies pulling into Augusta, and the entire country has reached out to those impacted by Hurricane Helene. Since we kicked off our Southeast Strong Help After Helene campaign, $1.896 million has been raised.
Oh my goodness. And now we can reveal that Texas grocery chain H-E-B, in association with Feeding America, is donating $500,000, sending 6 truckloads of supplies, including food, water, diapers, and other essentials to that region.
That's amazing.
We're covering that all morning long. We're also looking at the top stories breaking at 8. We're going to start with that new, more powerful hurricane. Mass evacuation underway ahead of Hurricane Milton's arrival. I want to go back to Ginger in Tampa. Good morning, Ginger.
Hey, good morning, George. The sandbags are out here at the convention center. During Helene, they flooded this area, and that's hard to imagine when the bay is some 10 to 12 feet down there. But the way that it converges water and storm surge moves in this bay is why we're concerned that we could nearly double what we saw in Helene.
This morning, the race to get out before explosively powerful Hurricane Milton comes in. Milton, still more than 500 miles southwest of Tampa, now a Category 4 hurricane with winds of 155 miles per hour.
This is the storm of the century.
Mass evacuations ordered, prompting bumper-to-bumper traffic out of town, as the strongest hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico in nearly 2 decades takes aim at the Sunshine State. Hurricane hunters flying into the storm to collect critical data Milton is expected to be knocked down by some wind shear before making landfall late Wednesday into early Thursday. But Tampa Bay to Sarasota to Venice could see 10 to 15 feet of ocean water pushing onto land, prompting one of the largest evacuations in years.
As of 8 a.m., we have brand new hurricane warnings that now go from Jacksonville Beach through Daytona, down to Melbourne, and of course back to around here, Tampa Bay to Fort Myers. But Orlando, Lakeland, Brandon, all have to watch for the winds out of this storm as it crosses the state. You will have onshore flow and some surge even happening for Daytona or Jacksonville, but look at that path. It all happens late Wednesday night through early Thursday. That's the time you do not want to be on the roads. You want to make sure you don't have trees around your homes because we'll see power outages, but also trees kill people when they fall into houses, especially when folks are sleeping in the center part of the state. Look at that 10 to 15 feet of surge here. Remember, we just had record surge around Tampa Bay. That was 5 to 7 feet. Now 10 to 15, and I don't want anyone to sneeze at what's happening south of Venice. You say Inglewood down to Fort Myers, you could have 6 to 10 feet of surge, which could even rival records there from Ian. And look at that. There's the wind speeds I wanted to show you. All the way over Hurricane Gus, the Space Coast. We just looked at one of the models. It had a 94-mile-per-hour wind gust, guys, at Cape Canaveral.
I have to keep that in mind. You're right about that. We'll check back with Ginger in just a little bit, but I'm going to turn now to the new report from Wells Fargo on the increase in candy prices that could be scary for your wallet as Halloween approaches. Elizabeth Schulze is here to explain why is it happening. What can we do about it? Good morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning, Robin. You know, Americans are expected to shell out $3.5 billion on Halloween candy this year. And if it feels like you're spending more on that candy, here's why. 3 years ago, if you spent $10 to fill up a candy bowl, this is about how much you get. Today, that same $10 only going to fill your bowl up 3/4 of the way. And one reason that we are seeing these prices go up is because of a shortage of cocoa beans. Cocoa is unique. It can only grow close to the equator, and about 70% of all of the world's cocoa beans are produced in West Africa. But in that region over the past 2 years, a change in weather patterns has made it a lot harder for cocoa pods to grow. So overall production expected to have dropped 14% last year, and that is forcing companies to pay more to get the cocoa beans they need to make all of this chocolate. But we did still find some good deals. Target's 70-piece bag of Hershey's chocolates is $10. The second bag, 50% off, so total $15 for both. Walmart is offering a 125-piece package, including Reese's and Kit Kats, my favorite, for $15 during its holiday sales event right now. And Amazon has a 5-pound bag of candy, includes Tootsie Rolls and Dots, that retails for $15, but you are going to have to order that now for it to arrive on time, guys.
Man, I love chocolate too.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I'm going to say?
Well, how you going to say?
I'm just going to take the bowl she brought today. Thank you, Elizabeth. Yeah. Appreciate that. We're going to turn now to the start of the NHL season. The puck officially dropped this afternoon, and Will Reeve, the happy man, and he's back now to tell us what you need to watch.
I love hockey more than you love chocolate, Michael, and I love chocolate and hockey too. So here's the plan for the day, everyone. At 4:30 Eastern time, you turn your TV to ESPN. You leave it there for the rest of the night, or if you're on the go, this is all on ESPN Plus, so no excuses. You're watching opening night of the NHL season. It's a triple header, starting with the St. Louis Blues visiting the Seattle Kraken. Then it's the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers hosting their bitter rival Boston Bruins. Those two teams have been hot under the collar the past couple springs in some intense playoff matchups. The Panthers winning those. They finally hoisted the cup in June, and tonight they will raise a banner to commemorate their victory. And then in the nightcap tonight, a curtain will rise on a new era in NHL history. It's the debut of the Utah Hockey Club, the franchise formerly known as the Arizona Coyotes. They've moved to Salt Lake City. They start their inaugural season at home against the Chicago Blackhawks, featuring one of the future faces of the league, Connor Bedard. He is must-see TV. And all of this TV that you must see is on ESPN later today. It's the NHL on ESPN. Oh, happy day.
So what is the over and under and how many Rangers games you'll attend this season?
I would love to attend all 41 home games. That's not feasible. Sorry?
It's up to us where we send you.
Right, of course, yeah, right. If you can work my schedule around the Rangers' schedule, as long as I'm good for the playoffs, that's what we care about now. We got to win the cup. Anyway.
That is true.
More to come on the NHL as the season goes on.
No coffee for you. You're cut off.
I am.
You're cut off.
The NHL is my cafe.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Will. Coming up in our GMA morning menu, country music superstars Luke Combs and Eric Church join us live. There they are. They're going to tell us about the big benefit concert for Hurricane Helene relief.
Also had Lori Bergamatos here with some of the best bargains from Amazon Prime Day and other big October sales.
Plus, Top Chef Tom Colicchio is here. He has a very personal new book that's part memoir, part cookbook. He'll show us how to make dinner in less than 30 minutes. And Lara is with some special guests. Hey, Lara.
Hey, Michael, I'm here with Quinta, Brunson, Tyler, James, Williams, and Ali Wong. All of them will be coming up on Good Morning America. You do not want to miss it.
We are back now with our GMA cover story, Southeast Strong. Our teams have been across the region in the wake of Hurricane Helene with devastating damage widespread across the Southeast. Yesterday, we were in North Carolina. Today, we're in Georgia. Eva Pilgrim is in Augusta, and Ike Ajachi is in Nashville, Georgia. And we're going to begin with Eva. Good morning again, Eva.
Good morning, Robin. Yeah, we're here in Augusta, Georgia at this distribution center. You can see these cars are lined up right here. They're getting much needed supplies to these people. Some of them have been without power for over a week. Some of their houses completely destroyed. The need here is still so great.
This morning, community leaders answering the call for help in the Southeast. Pastor Carrie Nelson driving from Mississippi to Hepzibah, Georgia to cook and serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
When you see people's reaction, it's a humbling thing. We are already collecting truckloads back in Mississippi to make runs up into edge of Tennessee and North Carolina.
In the town of Nashville, Georgia, Darla Trevino and her employees providing meals and supplies out of her gift shop, Southern Landmark.
We felt that there was a need, huge need, but we weren't a church and we weren't a nonprofit organization. We have a very good Southern Landmark family, and we branched out and we've donated over 1,000 meals to date.
In hard-hit Augusta, 143 Ministries helping residents keep the lights on.
First, we started to deliver gas to people who were in need of generators, and then it shifted to cutting trees off of houses and tarping houses.
Nearby, LaTanya Rainey opening up her restaurant, the Country Shack 2, to the community.
I just saw so many people without lights, without water, without food, and I was like, at least I can feed them.
And organizations like Caring for Others distributing food and supplies across Georgia and the Southeast.
And the CEO of Caring for Others, Mrs. Esleen Richmond-Shockley, joins us here this morning. There's so much going on. All these volunteers, we see the UPS guys in the brown shirt. The need here is so great. You're doing this right now, but you guys aren't going anywhere.
No, we're not. We are going to be here, and we'll be back for the third phase of this project, because the first, second, and the third one is the most important one. That's the rebuilding.
And then the rebuilding is going to take some time.
It's going to take some time.
One of the big things that people need here, we really focus on the children and the families. And we have a little bit of an announcement this morning. Gerber saw the need that's here, and they are sending a truck right now filled with 10 pallets of baby food, $55,000 worth of baby food. I mean, how big of a deal is this?
Thank you so much. There's so much need for children, food, and products. And thank you so much, Gerber. That's a blessing.
And we've seen the little kids here. You can see the toys going by. Also, that's not it. Cisco is also getting in on this action, sending Augusta some much needed supplies, $20,000.
Oh my God.
Food and water.
Yes. That's a blessing.
Yeah.
That's a blessing, because the need is great. They have lost so much.
And we talked to a lieutenant, a fire lieutenant who's out here today, and he lost his house, he lost a loved one, and he's out here making sure these people get what they need.
Well, you know, you have to forget yourself and think of the least of these, how you can lend that helping hand. That's why we all are here today.
And we are really seeing that, guys. It's really incredible to see this community coming together, trying to help each other through this moment.
It really is, Eva, to see all the volunteers that are out there, the local communities, and the companies that are really stepping up in a big way. We're going to have much more from Georgia ahead with Ike, and then how you can help. Well, you can find it on our website. You can learn more about some of the organizations that we are highlighting that are giving back and helping those in need in the Southeast, Michael.
And looking forward to that, Robin. Thank you. And country music is coming together to support their hometowns in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. Country superstars Luke Combs and Eric Church just announced their Concert for Carolina benefit. And Luke and Eric are with us live from Nashville, Tennessee. Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you both for joining us here on GMA. And Eric, I want to start with you. You and Luke, you both grew up in North Carolina. You even have a song about your hometown. So why is this community so special to you?
It's very simply, who I am, North Carolina made. I mean, I wouldn't be who I am today if not for the people there and the community there. And to see this happen to them, to that community, to those people, is especially devastating. And so Luke and I are doing everything we can to try to help that out. But for me, it's in the very DNA of what made me me.
And you both are really doing everything you can to help out. And then Luke, you've been telling fans that you had something big in the works, and here it is. How did this concert come together for you two?
Yeah, I was obviously at home watching the news the day after everything kind of started coming out about the storm there, and this was the first guy I called. I know how much our state means to him and to myself, and I knew that he would be willing to do whatever it took to help out. And I had this crazy idea to do a show at Bank of America, and the Teppers were gracious enough to get us that date and donate the stadium to us, and I think it's going to be a really special night.
And Eric, I know you're taking it even a step further. Not only are you putting on this concert, you also just released your first solo track in 3 years, and you signed over all the rights and royalties from the song to North Carolina. So tell us about Darkest Hour.
Yeah, Darkest Hour, it was a song. It's Michael, it's kind of the thing where you never know. Sometimes you give a song its moment, and sometimes a song takes its own moment. And I had this song that I had done in the studio when I wrote the song, this scenario was not something I ever thought about. And when the hurricane happened, the devastation happened, we were going to put out a project next year, and I just thought that the time was right. This song fit the moment, and we tried to take it a step farther. And signing over the song to the people in North Carolina and letting them have it forever, it's their song, is one thing. And the monetary thing is real, but it's about shining a light on that community and making sure everybody focuses on not just now, but this is not a months-long rebuild there. It's going to be a years-long rebuild. So the more light we can shine on that, the more awareness we can raise, I think the more good we can do over the long term to try to rebuild this community.
Man, I love that message and what you just said right there. And Luke, the announcement teased more performers to come. Can you tell us about anyone else who may be joining you on stage?
Well, we got some good news coming, I think, later this week. Want to play that close to the chest and not give all our secrets away. But I promise it's going to be a once in a lifetime kind of concert, and I'm real excited and proud to be a part of it.
Well, it's a once-in-a-lifetime concert to have any one of you individually, but to have you both together is already enough, and anybody else is just a big bonus, on what you're doing. So I want to say thank you both for joining us here on GMA, for making this announcement, and we really appreciate all the work you're doing for Carolina. And Concert for Carolina takes place Saturday, October 26th at the Carolina Panthers Stadium, and tickets go on sale Thursday.
All right, it's time to kick off our deal drop days with big savings from big retailers. Our lifestyle contributor, Lori Bergamato, is here now with the best bargains. They are all shoppable, and there are so many retailers that are doing big deals. Yep. Now, what should we zero in on?
So obviously we know today starts Amazon's October Prime deals, but it's not just Amazon. There's also Kohl's, Wayfair, Walmart. They're also having great deals. And this is the time, Lara. I know nobody wants to hear it because we're only in October. Holiday shopping.
You know I'm like the earliest holiday shopper.
And
I'm all over this.
Well, then you were made for this segment, Lara Spencer.
So yeah, let's get started though.
Yeah.
You have a deal for us on a popular health tracker. Thank you so much to Sal.
Okay.
Our little thing.
Our conveyor belt. This is the Oura Ring Gen 3 Horizon Stealth. Now, you may have seen this. It's a great way to track your activity, your fitness, your sleep, your stress levels.
I just bought one of these.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, Larry
And it wasn't on sale.
Well, the original price on it, and it doesn't go on sale
I know
often,
the original price.
is $449.
Yep.
It is pricey. But today on Amazon, you can get it for 22% off. That's over $100 off, $349.
It's a really good deal. It's a really good product. Good
yes.
find.
I agree.
Wish I had. All right, let's get another deal going here. This is an air purifier.
This is. So now this is, excuse me, another thing to look for while you're on all of these different sites. You're looking for things like air purifiers, vacuums, printers. Those are the sorts of things that will be on sale. So this one we found at Walmart. It is the Dr. J, not that Dr. J. Somebody else asked me earlier. They said he's doing air purifiers. Yeah. Professional HEPA air purifier. This is great. It will work in a 3,500 square foot room. So it will it's really powerful.
Yeah.
And it's great for kitchen fumes. If you have pet dander, dust, if you're just a person who's allergic to a lot of different things.
It's a great product.
This is great. And you can see it doesn't have a huge footprint.
It's pretty too.
It's nice. It's sleek. $179.99 is the original price.
This is insane.
61% off.
This is a great deal.
$69.99, and we found that at Walmart.
Billy, grab that. All right, next up on the conveyor belt.
You are going to love this. Get in there, feel that. Okay,
so this
bedding. Yes, bedding. So Koolaburra by UGG. Are you familiar with Koolaburra?
I'm familiar with UGG.
Okay, so Koolaburra is UGG's like little sister brand.
Okay.
Just as amazing, a little less expensive, but you get that quality and that texture.
Yeah.
This is faux fur. It's microfiber on the other side, so it's going to be great. Like we're heading into that season where you want it right now. This we found at Kohl's. So the original price on this one is $149.99, 25% off, $112.49, and you get the sham with that as well.
Oh, nice.
Yes, and now that we've got your bedding, we cannot forget about your pillow.
And this is one that will give you a great night's sleep.
It really will. This is great for back sleepers and side sleepers, which most of us are. It's memory foam. We got this at Wayfair, who just extended their way days, so make sure you check that out.
Okay.
This original price is $99.99. 77% off, $22.99. This pillow has 25.
What is the name of this product for people that want to go find it?
You want the Cool Sleeper on Wayfair.
Cool Sleeper on Wayfair. Okay.
Yes,
I
memory
asked for
foam.
a friend.
Yeah, we'll hook you up.
Sending it your way.
Okay, this one I really want to get to because another great thing is vacuums you should be looking for. This we found on Amazon. I'm obsessed with mine, the iRobot Roomba i3.
They're really great.
Incredible. It is like a personal assistant. It will keep your house so clean if you have pets or kids. Original price $420. 40% off, Lara, $249. I want to get to this one because we talked about holiday shopping, you guys. I have a 3-year-old at home. This is the perfect gift for them, the Tony Box bundle. Incredible. It will keep them screen-free, but also an immersive audio experience.
Really fun.
The original price on this, $171. You get the box plus some of the characters. 42% off, $99, under $100. Let's get one more in here. We can't forget about anybody who's doing a fix-it at home.
A handy person in our life.
A handy person. You can go to our site and check out what that deal is. It is incredible.
Amazing deals to be had. Thank you so much for the deals. How about some Abbott Elementary stars coming up?
And we are so excited that Abbott Elementary is back for season 4. So happy to welcome back Quinta Brunson, Tyler James Williams to tell us all about it. Welcome back. Great to see you. So what is exciting you about season 4?
One thing I'm excited about is having 22 episodes again. Last year I was kind of excited about having a short amount, but then I realized that I actually like having 22. This show was built to have 22 episodes, so we have more room to tell stories. We have holiday episodes again, which is so exciting. And we have episodes that are just plain fun. And so that's exciting to me.
I know, all those different hats that you wear and the excitement that you still share after all this time.
Yeah.
All right, my man. You look good on the red carpet, I could say it. You got your phone blew up.
We had a moment.
I know, we did have
really
a moment.
beautiful.
So let's have a moment right now. No, because you are genuinely, you're like looking up and going, this is season 4.
Yeah.
This is season 4.
Yeah, it still hasn't really hit me. I think we were talking about it the other day. It's like, it feels like we just started yesterday. It's been like the most beautiful blur of my life. I don't think I'll actually be able to like take it all in until we're done, unfortunately. But it'll be nice to kind of look back and go, we we kind of did a thing. I think we made some TV.
But it seemed like yesterday you were here to kick off this show. Like it's been 4 seasons already.
It does feel like that. I mean, one of the fun parts about coming back to GMA is it's kind of a nice reset because this was one of my first stops when we first started the show, and coming back here year after year, it is something that's a bit of a marker for how far we've come, and I don't know, my relationships with you guys. I don't know. It's like, I'm getting to see my friends again. It's a good thing.
Well, you know, for us, we're excited because we get an exclusive peek at the premiere. Yeah, we're going to show everybody right now. And we find out there's a golf course being built near the school in Abbott Elementary. Let's take a look.
New people are moving to Philly, West Philly, just to play there. So, and while Tiger Woods is a notable golfer, the demographic of most golfers is mainly...
We're so excited to be here.
Yeah, we were recommended we go private from, gosh, nearly every person and website we know, but we were like, hey, public all the way. So...
Well, it's great to have you. This is new. Huh?
Yeah, first time in all my years.
And Tyler, there are a lot of changes coming to Abbott, especially in the relationship between your characters. Threw me off last year at the end of it. No, I was like, what? Let me rewind that and go back. You had the kiss at the end of last season. So what can we look forward to this season?
It definitely was the cliffhanger of last year. What I can say is that you will get an answer as to what's happening with them pretty early on in the season this year. I think you won't have to go past the first episode to know where Janine and Gregory stand one way or another.
You're so good at not giving spoilers.
When your boss is right next to you, you get really good.
You said that, and I'm going, I hope you both don't mess this up.
I can't promise you that they won't. You know, I think it's the first time that they'll have to interact fully with their feelings realized at the school together. So it's going to affect not only them, but the entire school as a whole.
Let's all go watch episode 1 right now.
That's the idea, yes.
You had a great Philly crossover, Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
I'm just so pumped. I met Rob, and we just got along so well. He's also a star and creator of his show. And we just started talking like, why don't we just do this one day? And he actually sent a funny thing that happened online to me. It was like, this seems more like an Abbott episode than a Sunny episode, but I'd be down to do it. So it kind of got us talking, and it has been the most fantastic experience working with them. Not only in the writer's room, but on set. We have had a ball with them, and I think it's gonna work better than people expect. The shows have 2 very different tones.
Oh, you think?
Yes. That's putting it lightly. But it works, and I think it's because of Philadelphia. Philadelphia is this richly diverse, dirty, horrible city sometimes, and we can all share our dirt with each other, and I think that's what you're gonna get in that episode. Sorry, Philly. There's probably a nicer way to say that.
No, you've shown nothing but love to Philly. You're good.
Yeah, you guys know how to.
You got a lot of receipts.
Yes.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
Wild Wild West. Wild Wild West. The line dance. The line
Y'all got all
dance.
the
What?
information. What you talk to?
Just saying. I did some.
Fun fact, I threw my hip out.
He did.
I threw my hip out in that scene.
He did.
I did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Come on, that's classic. I can't believe this is the first time we've seen the line dance on the show.
He threw his hip out like a 60-year-old. And I was like, nobody told you to go that hard.
No one did.
But you made
I'm a little bit too into it.
Yeah,
That happens to me sometimes.
But you were familiar with the song.
I knew the song, right? Because I'm a huge Will Smith fan, and like growing up, you know, as a black actor in Hollywood, he's your North Star.
Yep.
But I didn't know that there was a line dance.
So,
you had to tell me that.
I did, and what's crazy is that line dance is specific to Philly. It's actually a Baltimore line dance that Philadelphians put to the Wild Wild West. So it exists only in Philly, and now I hope it'll exist for the rest of the world. But yeah, it's going to be confusing to people from Baltimore, but just get over it. It'll be fun. It'll be really fun.
Yeah, but you got to keep it tight and protect your hips. That's the key.
That's stretch, y'all. Open it up. I learned.
Thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Season 4 of Abbott Elementary premieres tomorrow at 9:30, 8:30 Central right here on ABC.
So many communities across the Southeast have been devastated by Hurricane Helene. Our teams this morning are on the ground in Georgia. Ike Ajachi joins us now from Nashville, Georgia. It's a small town with a big sense of family. Good morning to you, Ike.
Good morning, Robin. Listen, when Helene hit Nashville, Georgia, the people didn't miss a beat. They immediately started picking up the pieces and each other. This fire station became the makeshift meal center for all the first responders who were lending a helping hand. Now, joining me now is Hayden Hancock. He's the city manager here, and Andrea Davis, who is a volunteer at the fire department here. Thanks for joining me. Now, Hayden, we know this is a small town, only about a few thousand people, which makes the devastation so much more intense. What happened when Helene hit here?
Yeah, so as a Nashville native growing up here, this is the largest natural disaster we've ever seen. So it affected virtually everybody in our community here. We had over 600 homes damaged and widespread power outages, and we're still reeling from the effects of that. But you know, we've come together as a community. I think the biggest takeaway is that you know, all of the resources have come in, and you know, I always say we shine brightest when we come together. And that's what we've done here. So the devastation was big, but our community is bigger. And so we've had a really good response, both locally and nationally. And so we just want to thank everybody that's come in, from our linemen to our crewmen to all the teams here that have been here. Right. I always say that we shine brightest when we come together, and that's what we've done here. And we are Nashville strong.
Right. Now, we know the first responders, they are superheroes. And Andrea, you started cooking for them since the onset of Helene. So how has this community come together to help one another?
Well, it started with my husband, the fire chief. He wanted to prepare a hot meal for our first responders and our city and our county workers during this time of devastation. So we just came together as a family, and then we extended that gratitude towards our linemen and our workers that were helping restore our power. So we've been feeding anywhere from 150 to 300 workers a day.
That's amazing.
And so we just appreciate all the local restaurants, the churches, the residents of Nashville and Berrien County that helped support this cause.
Now, we saw those UPS workers over in Augusta with Eva Pilgrim for that, helping the organization caring for others. But UPS, well, they kind of want to help out Nashville here too, which is why they are giving this town $25,000 to help rebuild Nashville. But wait. There is more. Like I like to say, there is more. We know that power is an issue here. Those residents still don't have power all throughout this town, which is why our friends at Jackery have decided to donate 5 solar power generators to get everybody back online. Wow, so Hayden, I got to ask you, how will this make an impact here?
I have no idea how much this means to our community. We need it. We thank you so much, and this will go a long, long way to help us in our recovery efforts. We still have a long way to go, but we will get there. We're a strong community, and thank you guys so much.
All right. Yes, and we want to present you with a Nashville Strong shirt for Ike coming and helping out and supporting us.
Thank you very much, guys. Nashville Strong. Back to you guys in New York.
All right, and that's a Southern way. We were there to help, and they want to give gifts. This is the spirit that they have here. And once again, you can learn more about some of the organizations that we're highlighting that are giving back and helping those in need in the Southeast. You can go to our website for that information.
Now, with Emmy and Golden Globe winning actress from Beef, Ali Wong, so much more than that, though. She's going back to her comedy roots, as well she should. She's got a new special. It's called Ali Wong's Single Lady. She's joining us right now live to talk about it, and I'm so happy to see you again.
Oh my God, so happy to see you too.
Always fun having you here on GMA, and I'm so glad you did get back to your comedy roots. How did that feel for you?
It was really good. I mean, it's so different because with acting, I get into I have so many people helping me, getting into hair and makeup.
Yes.
And then with stand-up, it's just me getting into a monochrome tracksuit, so I look like Polly Walnuts. Yeah. And then I just put on eyeliner and lip gloss, and that's it. And then all the material I write myself.
You write yourself. You directed this yourself.
I did.
How was that directing you?
It's very easy because you just set up the cameras and it's just 2 takes.
Right.
So.
Oh, that's it. You don't give yourself another. I was wondering if you do.
Can't afford it.
No.
Yeah.
I get it. When you're the EP, you have to draw the line.
And then I dress myself too, so it was really different dressing myself for that special because I'm not, the first 2 specials I was pregnant.
Right.
And then I just decided to go with this loose, flowy white gown.
Well, I see that in the picture, and I wanted to tell everybody it's called Ali Wong's Single Lady, and this is what you're in your divorced mom era.
Yes.
So what can we expect from this new special?
I think it's just a different perspective on aging, you know, because for women especially too, aging can be so depressing. Like I went to the dermatologist recently and I had some skin tags removed from my neck. Yeah. And then he pointed out, he was like, oh, you have these age spots that can be removed. I see about 12 on your face, and you have these other keloid things that can be removed. So like next time maybe you can get like about like, it was like 42 things removed.
Yeah. And I didn't ask.
Yeah, and I didn't ask. And at a certain point, like for women aging, especially with all the targeting on Instagram, it can feel like playing whack-a-mole.
Yes.
You know, where you just have to
Literally in
keep
this
on
case.
like, yes, exactly. And so for me, it's just a different perspective, and it's authentic of how I really feel. That like aging it doesn't have to be depressing. It doesn't have to be this like removing and battling everything. Like it can be really fun in this expansive opening of adventure.
Yeah, let's see a clip of the new special.
If you want to be my boyfriend too, just to start, you gotta be a divorced dad. Yeah, you gotta be a divorced dad because I want a man that's been pre-yelled at. Turnkey ready, you know what I'm saying? I want that cast iron skillet seasoned.
I love it. It's true.
Yeah, I mean, because you are divorced.
I'm divorced and now remarried.
And look at how fabulous you look, and look, you're thriving on Good Morning America. Yeah, talking to me.
Yeah. Well, you make me happy. You make a lot of people very happy because you call it like it is. And I understand. Is this true? According to the research, you brought your ex-husband, your kids, and your new boyfriend, Bill Hader, with you on tour while you workshopped this material?
Yes, I brought definitely my kids and their father. We're very, very close, and he is the tour manager. So,
wait, their father is the tour manager.
Yes,
meaning your ex-husband is the tour manager.
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
And so he was with us the whole time, and it was amazing. And then Bill would come out for certain dates, and it was a really nice moment when we were in D.C. and I was performing at the Kennedy Center, and we went to the Smithsonian to see my dress from Baby Cobra, which is at the Smithsonian.
Yeah,
and it was so nice to have my kids, their father, who's really truly my best friend, and Bill there. And it was
sounds like you're doing it all right, sister.
It was a really lovely moment.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
And it comes and
it's not without a lot of work.
I always.
It's not. This amicable situation didn't just fall into my lap.
Well,
you know,
and you can hear all about it and so much more. Allie lets it all hang out in Single Lady. It is so good. It's out now on Netflix, and we love when you come. Please come back soon.
Thank you.
Congrats on everything. Congrats on Beef and all to come.
Thank you so much.
Coming up on Good Morning America, Tom Colicchio from Top Chef is joining us to talk about a very special new cookbook that he's written, part memoir, part cookbook. You'll hear all about it coming up on GMA. All right, we're back now at Top Chef's Tom Colicchio, author of a new memoir and cookbook, Why I Cook. And we're so glad you've decided to share that with us because, boy, we love your food. Guys, these are easy recipes for dinner and other recipes as well. For 30 minutes or less, you can have them done. And Tom, this is your first cookbook in 15 years. It's got 60 recipes, and it is a memoir.
Right.
Why was now the right time to do this? Tell us about it.
So during the pandemic, I was doing a lot of these Zoom cooking classes, and the question kept coming up. And at first, I just kind of threw it out and threw some answer out there, and I really started to think about it. And I kept going back to my grandfather and the times that I spent with him either fishing, not so much cooking, but meals that revolved around fishing and gardening as well.
Right.
And I kept going back to him, and so I owed my publisher a book for 15 years, and finally I was like, I have to finally do this.
You found the inspiration.
I did, I did.
Well, we're so glad that you did, and
Thanks.
one of these recipes smells so very
this is
good.
a recipe that my mother made a lot, and it's real simple. It's
and
just
it's
broccoli,
one of my favorites.
lots of garlic.
Yes.
So we had the pasta cooking. When it's cooked, you just add it to the broccoli. You want to get some of that water with it because it's really important to get that starchy water.
Never
right,
throw
don't
away
throw
all
out
your
that water.
pasta water. I just learned that.
The broccoli is blanched off, the garlic is blanched off, and then it's kind of sauteed in a good amount of olive oil. And we use pecorino cheese, not Parmesan Reggiano, pecorino, a lot of olive oil, and then a good amount of cracked black pepper.
But what's the difference between those two cheeses? Why were you specific about that?
Pecorino is a lot sharper. It's a sheep's cheese, the sheep's milk, and it's really sharper. And it's also, when I grew up, we didn't have Parmesan Reggiano. It was too expensive. We used pecorino.
Okay, good. And then I smell garlic, but I don't see it.
It's in there. It's already in there, yeah. So everything's already, we started the segment, we got some
You had to get going a little bit.
This would take about a half an hour. We have 4 4 minutes
And
here.
I know when your family made it for you and you were a kid, they made it with cavatelli?
Yes, it was cavatelli, yeah.
But you like the orecchiette?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter what kind of
really
floss you
doesn't
use?
matter, no.
Gosh,
no.
it smells so good.
I think I used cavatelli in another recipe in the book, and that's why I used orecchiette.
Okay,
That's it.
all right,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
love this recipe so much. I also really like this salad recipe just to show you the differences that you guys will get in this cookbook. And this is a really easy salad to put together.
Sure, especially in the fall. So these are radicchios. They're bitter. A lot of people are sort of, they don't like that bitter flavor. I love it. To me, it just symbolizes fall. And then, of course, we have some fennel, which adds some sweetness to the dish. We have some walnuts for texture. And so we have a cider.
Shallot in there?
Right, we have a cider. Well, that goes in the vinaigrette. So we have a
Okay.
cider vinaigrette that we've made ahead of time. We have our greens. Don't overdress your greens.
No.
Again, a good amount of cracked black pepper.
You can always add a little bit
and
more.
then we can just add the walnuts. We add the pears and
manja, baby.
Yeah, and that's it. Just give it a quick toss, and then we just
You make everything look so easy, but in this case, it is actually really easy.
And then don't fuss with it. You know, just let it drop, and it'll look great. You
Yeah,
don't
it
have to
really
fuss too much
does.
with
It's
it.
just beautiful, and I love the color in it. So give the bitters a try.
Right.
Right?
The bitters
Come
are
on.
good. They're all good, yeah.
And the pasta recipe is right there for you. Tom, we love having you on the
Thank
show.
you.
Congratulations on the book, guys. It's called Why I Cook, and again, it's part memoir and some recipes. You can get it right now, and the recipes are on our website, so check those out.
We hope your Tuesday's off to a great start. Have a great day.